cases that haven't gone through courts yet and track down current perpetrators. Over the weekend, Prime Minister Keir Starmer said there will be a national inquiry into the issue. Policing expert Danny Shaw says that's ahead of the findings of a major report being released.
What it's saying is we need an inquiry to look at the past and what went wrong and where mistakes were made. But what we also need to do is focus on the here and now and try and do police investigations to tackle the perpetrators.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up. Brand new work week here. Welcome to a Monday, the 16th day of June for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all the news, weather, and sports you need to get out the door here this morning. Going to be updating you on what's been going on over the weekend in the College World Series in Omaha. Check in on the Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge, which is going on just outside the walls in Omaha at the College World Series. Huskers have landed another pitcher to its 2026 roster. We've got some Major League Baseball to tell you about here this morning. Legion Baseball, a full slate of games over the weekend. Hastings Sodbusters wrapped up their 7-game series with Casper last night out at Duncan Field. Alex Gordon has been inducted into the Kansas City Franchise the Royals Hall of Fame. We'll tell you about that coming up. Royals on kind of a downer right now. They've lost 6 games in a row. We've got the NBA, NHL, NASCAR, PGA, all to talk about this morning. So the plate is full as we check in with Tyson over in the Western Studios this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Is the Jello Shot Challenge at this point even a challenge? LSU kind of storming out of the gates. Of course, they won against Arkansas and continue to just invade Rocco's. It's not even a challenge at this point. It's a runaway. I mean, this ball game's over. And this just in, it is now Monday. After opening weekend of the College World Series, LSU has plenty of time to do some damage in those Jello shots and further their lead.
Yeah, I checked out the standings just before we went on here this morning. Mm-hmm. They've got a commanding lead, but heck, this is only, the third day of the College World Series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today is actually the fourth day as action gets underway today down in Omaha. So there's a long way to go, but yeah, you're right. LSU, the defending champs in the Jello Shot contest down at Rocco's, they've got a big lead right now. But the teams that you kind of mentioned, mm-hmm. Murray State, they're holding pretty strong in the challenge. We'll get the complete standings coming up here before we get out of here at 8 o'clock to bring you up to date on what's going on, because we spent so much time on it on Friday. In fact, our first 20-minute segment was all about the Jello Shot contest in Omaha. So we'll bring you up to date. Don't want to keep you hanging there loose on what's going on at the challenge. But, LSU is firmly entrenched at the top of the Jello Shot. Once you know where Rocco's is at, and once you've won the trophy as the Jello Shot champions, it's just part of your weekend. And then if you're an LSU fan, you grab the gang and you head down to Rocco's and you have Jello Shots. That's kind of their thing down there in Omaha. They've been the champions down there for a couple of years now.
I was talking with LSU baseball fan and LSU native, Pat. He runs the Cajun Prairie food truck. They were in town this weekend. They were actually over at First Street Brewing. I was working Saturday, and I had the game on after he wrapped up and was done cooking for the day. And, of course, he was more than happy to sit around and stick around at the brewery and watch with us. But he goes, there's 2 things about Cajuns that you need to know about. He goes, we're really good at drinking, we're really good at cooking, and we love our sports, and we love our LSU Tigers. And I think that's the main thing, and you're seeing that. those Louisianans can hold their own. And when LSU is on the board for anything, the LSU faithful wants to make sure that LSU is going to come out victorious. And so fans are doing their part. Louisianans are just built differently in terms of a Jello shot challenge competition. They're going to be the defending champs for a long time, I would say, until a Nebraska school gets to the College World Series. If LSU's down there, they're going to bring home the trophy.
All right, they've got the commanding lead. We'll tell you about that coming up. Meanwhile, on the field, Arizona, the first team to be eliminated from the World Series. Coastal Carolina, they are 2-0 in the tournament yesterday. They beat Oregon State by a score of 4-2. So one of those teams that you kind of mentioned last week that could sneak their way through the tournament. In the driver's, I wouldn't say in the driver's seat, but they're off to a good start, 2-0 in the College World Series.
And they control their own destiny. They're playing good ball. I just noticed that, in watching them over the regionals and super regionals, that looks like a team that was really well put together. I wouldn't call them a mid-major. I think that they've established this baseball program as something that is definitely a formidable force and is built for a format like this. This is the perfect format for a Coastal Carolina team to come up through, throughout the regular season when they are playing in some of those Sun Belt Conference teams. Baseball's going to baseball, and you're going to lose a couple of those games when you're not playing in a powerful conference like Coastal Carolina is. That will knock back your ranking a little bit just based on some of your conference opponents. Then they enter into this big field, and again, just a roster and a lineup that is built to work the course of these double elimination format tournaments, and I think the sky's the limit for Coastal Carolina. I wouldn't be surprised, again, and I mentioned that Friday, I would not be surprised to see them on championship weekend, working their way through the bracket. Like you said, long way to go, but right now they're in the best spot possible. They are in the driver's seat. They control their own destiny. They can continue to play winning ball, and I think they will. They show no signs of slowing down, so really excited to see what Coastal Carolina can bring to the table. LSU, Arkansas, that was just a tough matchup. That was definitely the game I think that you wanted to watch over the weekend. Two big powerhouse SEC schools. They end up drawing each other, and just a tough matchup all the way around for Dave Van Horn and Arkansas, but LSU looked pretty solid as well. And that's kind of my leanings on opening weekend. I was really impressed with LSU. I was really impressed with Coastal Carolina. And I wouldn't be surprised to see those teams playing when the dust all settles.
All right, Murray State is going to be playing today against Arkansas in the elimination game. That will be the 1 o'clock game today, followed by UCLA against LSU at 6. I think that'll be a good game tonight. So Murray State's facing elimination against Arkansas today. And then in the winner's bracket, UCLA against LSU. That's your schedule today for the College World Series in Omaha. A couple other notes I wanted to get to here today. Governor Mike Keogh has signed a legislative package approved by Missouri lawmakers earlier in the week that includes hundreds of millions of dollars of financial aid intended to persuade the Chiefs and the Royals to remain in the state.
Wow.
That's been discussed now for on and off for the last couple of years. Keogh had called lawmakers into a special session, and they approved the package last week, and he signed it over the weekend. The Chiefs and the Royals currently play at the Truman Sports Complex on the east side of Kansas City, where Arrowhead Stadium and Kauffman Stadium share parking facilities, but their leases with Jackson County, Missouri expire in January of 2031, and the two franchises have been trying to decide the best route forward for the past several years now. They've been swayed by Kansas, or they're trying to be persuaded from the folks over in Kansas to move their facilities over to the Kansas side of the Missouri River. But now, like I told you, eventually they're going to stay right where they're at. We're not going away. Arrowhead's not going away. They're going to give them a crap load of money, $800 million for renovations to Arrowhead Stadium. So if that all goes through, they're going to throw a lot of money to the Chiefs and the Royals to say put over in on the Missouri side of the Missouri River.
I just think if you're going to sway them to stay, to me, it's a move that has to be downtown. And I don't maybe necessarily think Arrowhead. I think Arrowhead can stay. I think Chiefs Faithful is going to be Chiefs Faithful, and it's just football's different. But baseball, I think, needs downtown stadium in Kansas City, and here's why. It's a mid-market baseball club. And with being a mid-market baseball club, if you're out of sight, out of standings, out of mind, you're going to have trouble getting the support when you're that far off the beaten path from the downtown area. Take a look at the Colorado Rockies. They are the most miserable baseball team in Major League Baseball history. They're awful. They're god-awful. And you would think that if you watch a Rockies game, there wouldn't be anybody in the stands supporting that product because they're so freaking bad, right? But watch a Rockies game. There's people there. There's still fan support. They're still going out to a baseball game. Tickets might be significantly cheaper and slashed, but also look at the location of the stadium. It's right smack dab in the middle of downtown Denver. And with that, you're going to get people that are just out and about that are going to go to a ball game in Coors Field because of the central location that it's based on. And I think that it being that far off the beaten path in Kansas City, at that point, you're out of sight, out of mind if you fall from the standings. And so when Kansas City goes through their rough patches, because they inevitably will, because they are a mid-market baseball club, when you go back through the rebuilds and you're 60 and 100, it's really tough to get people to be in your ballpark. And that is a horrible look that you don't want to have happen. So I think if you're going to keep the Royals in Missouri, I think you can keep Arrowhead out there. Part of those renovations can be including more parking and renovations to just make that a single football facility. But I also think you got to pony up and build a place for the Royals to be in the heart of downtown Kansas City, which I don't think will happen.
Last year, Jackson County voters defeated a sales tax extension that would have helped finance the renovations to Arrowhead and also build a $2 billion ballpark district for the Royals in downtown Kansas City.
Yep.
So maybe the fans are not on the same island as you are. They defeated the sales tax proposal just last year to build a $2 billion ballpark district for the Royals in downtown Kansas City. Maybe the people that live in Kansas City say, hell with you, Tyson. We want to keep the Royals at Kauffman Stadium.
That's possible.
So let's see. It's far from being over. Again, their lease runs through January of 2031, but both the Royals and the Chiefs want to have some direction of where they're going, and that's going to be debated here for the next several months, if not years. So if you'd like to chime in with us, go ahead. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number, 402-834-1330. That's our fan line. You can get on any time with us here on Extreme Sports. If you'd like to leave us a message in one of our social media sites, you're welcome to do that as well. Tim Stroman chiming in already. He's a purebred Rockies fan. He says the Rockies are developing.
Rockies are developing. They are. They're developing, but they continue to get fan support.
Yeah, but they're crappy.
Right.
They are a bad baseball team.
They continue to get fan support because of A, their location, and B, their location. Their location is that centrally located right in the heart of downtown Denver. People go out, they want to watch a baseball game, traveling into Denver, maybe catch other but the fan support continues to show up. And that would be the difference. Yeah, these voters that knocked down this Kansas City proposal to go to downtown, that's the difference in the fan base, and you're going to see it. And then when you say, why are we moving this team to Overland Park, Kansas? Because you didn't show up and you didn't support when you had the opportunity to. So
The New Orleans Saints have signed running back Cam Akers to a one-year deal following a tryout at minicamp last week. Had 2 practices with the team. Joins Alvin Kamara, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kendry Miller, and rookie 6th-round pick Devin Neal on the team. Akers, who turns 26 in June, was a 2nd-round pick by the Los Angeles Rams in 2020. Spent his first 3 seasons of his career in Los Angeles before being traded to the Minnesota Vikings in 2023. Akers signed with the Houston Texans last season and had a second stint with the Vikings after he was traded to Minnesota midseason last fall. So Cam Akers is with the New Orleans Saints now.
Nice.
That's the only thing that came out of the NFL over the weekend as far as the signings were concerned.
Cam Akers leading the headlines in the NFL.
Yep, so far.
That's rough.
The Giants have acquired 3-time All-Star Rafael Devers from the Red Sox in a stunning trade that sent a player Boston once considered a franchise cornerstone to a San Francisco team needing an offensive punch. Boston received left-handed starter Kyle Harrison, right-hander Jordan Hicks, outfielder prospect James Tibb III, and rookie league right-hander Jose Bello. In the trade, Giants will cover the remainder of Devers' contract, which runs through 2033, and will pay him more than $250 million.
Rafi Devers, big trade. And it was expected. There was a no trade Rafi Devers clause had a no trade clause on it. There was only a handful of teams that he was going to go to. As we have a phone call. But anyways, before we get to the phone line here, a good trade for the Giants, who are honestly contenders in the National League West right now. They're going blow for blow with the LA Dodgers, and so San Francisco needs a little offensive punch. They bring in Rafi Devers. That was one of the teams that was not on his no trade clause, and bolstering that lineup. I love Jordan Hicks, flamethrower, and is gonna find some success in Boston, I'm sure, as well. But yeah, good move to bolster that San Francisco offense. We do have a caller on the line, so let's go ahead and get to our hotline here on Extreme Sports. Good morning.
Morning, Tyson. It's Tim. How are you?
Hey, Tim, doing well.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Good. I wanted to let you know I misdialed to some number in Oklahoma City, and they're calling me back, so I'll have to get back to them. But to touch on your location thing, you're exactly right, though. I mean, Denver is in a prime location. And when we lived and grew up in Highlands Ranch, they had all the light rails set up, and you could hop on a light rail for, well, I guess we did it for free when we were younger, but for $5-10, and go down and get dropped off right at the front door of the Rockies. And, the location, like you said, no matter how bad they are, they always draw at least half attendance. And they sell $3 beers. They do things right to get people in there, except for put a good product on the field. But, I don't know. If the Royals actually, fall out of contention and out of relevancy like the Rockies have, I guess, stapled themselves into irrelevancy for the next 10 years. But I don't know how good the revenue flow and turnout would be at the stadium anymore.
All right, so, the Colorado Rockies and the Royals, as we continue to talk about that. The Royals, by the way, they're about ready to fall off for this year, Tim. They're sitting at 34-38 now on the season. They've lost 6 games in a row. So the Rockies might have some company down there now. Talking about cellar dwellers in Major League Baseball, the Royals are heading there fast.
The Royals, they could take a month off of their schedule, and you could just go ahead and forfeit all of them, and I think they might be close at that point. But you're right, though. They're starting to fall off, and they're in a tough division, and Major League Baseball is insane these days. You see all these other teams with willingness to spend money and bring in players, and the Rockies just like to build up players and then just give them away to these other organizations. Like, oh, these guys look like they could need somebody good that should be about $100 million salary, payroll. No, we're just going to trade him for some prospect nobody's heard of, and he'll get hurt in a couple of years, and we'll save face because we'll get everybody loaded up on these $3 beers at the games.
Yeah, mid-major clubs, it's such a small window. And I talk about this a lot, whether it's Royals fans or whether it's Rockies fans. And you've got to experience just a little sliver of that with some successful postseason teams over the years. And we all remember Rocktober when they stormed through September and made their way through the postseason. But you have such a small window of opportunity to cash in, and based on the model that has been set in place since 1994, and really no inclination of changing that, the mid-market teams just remain extremely hopeful. But I think a season like this, Tim, was inevitable. And whether it was the Rockies or whether it was going to be the Detroit Tigers or Chicago White Sox, we were going to see a mid-market team inevitably have a total reboot. Not even a rebuild. This was a turn it off and turn it back on again kind of season for Colorado.
It's going to take a lot to turn this thing back on. I mean, ever since that Chris Bryant trade, I think that's just been the downfall. They put half their salary and half their cap into one guy that's played maybe a full season out of his last 6. And between you and I didn't really think it was all that great anyway.
Yeah.
And it's tough to bring in names to support that, because when one player is filling up half of your usual payroll, you got 40 other slots to fill. It's tough. And these guys that are developing, they're I said developing jokingly. They're guys that have been up in the major leagues,
right.
that couldn't make it on another team's roster. I mean, we got Orlando Arcia from Atlanta. Atlanta didn't even want him anymore. And he's like our godsend now. We got Orlando Arcia. We just won 5 games. We haven't done that in the first 60. So, it's tough, but in the mid-market, it's getting more and more difficult for those teams to be competitive. And the Rockies are lucky that they have that centrally located fan base. I mean, I'm still a fan. I don't know why or how, or I can't. There's no explanation to it. Sometimes I just do dumb things, but it's one of those things. Like we'll during the baseball season, during Adams Central season, I'd get home, want to just unwind from baseball. Cal wants to watch the Rockies,
right?
So it's like, okay, well we can watch this until they give the lead away. So usually we're only watching about a couple pitches, but but we got to watch it every day. And he's not even my parents moved from Colorado. We don't go back there much. We really have no ties to Colorado much anymore. We still have some family out there, but he's still a diehard Rockies fan, and I'm getting to the point where he'll start dropping names. I'm like, are you talking about hockey or like football? What are you talking about? Rockies? Oh. But you're exactly right. And I think moving it downtown, that place would go from 20 to 30% to 100% every game. That downtown Kansas City is a blast.
Yep.
If you had an activity and something like baseball to it, man, that place would be turning over hand over fist.
And I think it's a matter of, and on that note, redirecting back to the whole Tyson Island thing, I don't think it's a matter of that Royals fans voted against there being a downtown location. Royals fans voted against there being their money to be used to build that downtown location. They want the ownership team to pony up and spend a little dough on the team. That's the message that the voters are sending to the ownership group to spend some money so that they're not on the hook for the entire project.
Oh, for sure. I agree with you. I mean, they see a number like $800 million. They're like, well, why move? Let's just bring in some studs. Let's bring in some players. Let's get a system in place here where we can be successful. I see both sides of it, but I also go to Kauffman Stadium sometimes, and I worked construction for 15 years before I started coaching here. And even I get a little weary walking up that upper deck of Kansas City. It is that stadium is unique. But it is nice to see the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs have had all this success. They're going to renovate that stadium. We went to Arrowhead last year to see the Broncos play Kansas City. And I'm impressed, like, for how old that stadium is and everything. It's set up well. I mean, if you're talking in terms of renovations, I don't know if they're looking at, like, safety renovations, but I felt that place was amazing. You have that tailgate, little facility outside. All the fans fans are friendly to us, well, because they beat the Broncos, I think. But, it's a good environment. It's fun. And you get 2 parking lots worth of tailgaters. And if I've seen anything from Royals fans and Kansas City fans, they're fantastic at drinking in parking lots.
Yeah, they're tailgating in Kansas City, second to none there, Timmy boy. So I'm with you on that side. All right, well, thanks for checking in with us, my man. You always got the VIP pass to this show.
Oh, thank you. I'll keep that one around my neck. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
Tim Stroman checking in with us on our little Kansas City debate on what's going on in the KC. Rolling along here Monday morning. You're waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. It's now 7:26.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Starting in Grand Island this morning, the police department have officially closed a recent fraud investigation following findings from First Interstate Bank and its ATM service provider. The investigation determined a device in question was not a skimming device in the bank's ATM as initially reported last Friday. First Interstate Bank has worked proactively with its clients throughout the review process to ensure all accounts remained secure. It's also been determined that no customer information was compromised or obtained fraudulently. The police department, however, does remind all residents to routinely monitor their bank and credit card accounts for any unauthorized activity. Nebraska Department of Transportation set to begin a significant road improvement project on Nebraska 41 east of Clay Center today. The project aims to enhance safety and traffic flow in the area. Motorists can expect lane reductions and possible delays during the construction period. The Nebraska Department of Transportation reminding drivers to stay alert for construction signs and adjust travel plans accordingly. The project is expected to be completed by the fall. The New Lib splash pad is completed and open to the public. The new splash pad was anticipated to be ready by Memorial Day weekend, but the project saw significant delays as the contractor wrapped up previously scheduled projects elsewhere in the state. There was also further weather-related delays. Costs associated with the new splash pad is about $260,000 and was paid for from the city's atonement of the American Rescue Plan Act funds. It is now 7:27. We'll swing things back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, Arizona, the first team to be eliminated from the College World Series in Omaha. The Wildcats lost to Louisville 8-3 in the elimination game yesterday after dropping a 4-3 decision to Coastal Carolina on Friday. In the other game yesterday, Coastal Carolina now 2-0 in the tournament. They beat Oregon State 4-2. In the games today, Murray State will play Arkansas in the elimination game at 1, followed by UCLA against LSU at 6. Nebraska has landed another pitcher to its 2026 roster. Huskers are bringing in former Omaha Burke player Cooper Kasky, who played last season at Miami of Ohio after spending 2 years at Indiana. He made 16 appearances for the Red Hawks in 2025 and earned 10 starts. He finished the year 11-2 with a 3.08 earned run average, throwing 3 complete games and recording 1 save. He pitched 84 2/3 innings and recorded 70 strikeouts while allowing 33 runs and 30 walks. Kasky was named to the MAC first team all-conference team and was named the MAC pitcher of the year. Hastings 5 Points Bank American Legion baseball team is now 13-4 on the season. Hastings beat Grand Island U-Save 8-0 on Saturday before coming back to defeat Seward 11-3. Hastings will play at Kearney on Thursday. Hastings Johnson Imperial Homes went 4-0 in that Rapid City tournament. The Braves are now 12-4 and will play at Kearney on Thursday. We'll have both games on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame show at 4:45. Hastings Runza went 1-3 over the weekend. The Warriors will host Sutton in a doubleheader on Wednesday. Hastings Sodbusters beat Casper 7-0 last night. Sodbusters ended up going 3-4 against the Spuds in that week-long 7-game series. Hastings will play at the Oahe Zap tonight. First pitch will be at 6:05. 20 years after being drafted in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft, Alex Gordon is the 20th player in Kansas City franchise history to be inducted into the Royals Hall of Fame. During his Royals career from 2007 to 2020, Gordon won 8 Gold Gloves and 2 Platinum Gloves for his work in the field. At the plate, he was a .257 hitter. The Athletics beat Kansas City 3-2 yesterday. Royals have now lost six straight games. Kansas City is 34-38 on the season and will play at Texas on Tuesday. First pitch will be at 7:05. That's a check in your sports headlines this morning. Coming up on 7:31 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Our summer heat continues on this Monday with plenty of sunshine through the late morning and afternoon and a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm during the morning hours, a high of 93. Tonight we'll have a chance for some severe thunderstorms about midnight or just after. There's a 2 out of 5 or a slight risk here in Hastings from Grand Island to North Platte up to Shattern and back to O'Neill. 3 out of 5 on the threat scale. Winds up to 70 or 75 miles per hour can be expected.
Right now, as you wake up, get going this morning, south winds at 10 miles per hour. It is cloudy. It is 69 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
June is busting out in live music at Malata Vista Winery. This is Mick, and there is nothing like a summer's evening out on our patio, especially when it's filled with great music, award-winning wines, and mouth-watering foods. Saturday on June 7th, you can come enjoy country music sounds of Grant Pickrell. Grant is from Fullerton. Then on the 21st, it's classic rock and country from Eben Rosentrader. Make your reservations now on our website at MalataVistaWinery.com. Come see us, Malata Vista Winery, St. Paul, Nebraska. Learn more on Facebook or on our website.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Raceway brings the action every Friday night with high-speed thrills and dirt-flying excitement for the whole family. From A-class and non-wing warriors to junior sprints, junior cage karts, and flat karts, there's something for every race fan to cheer for. Grandstands open at 7. Ages 13 and up are just $10, and kids 12 and under get in free. Want to be part of the action? Pit passes are just $20, with gates opening at 5:30. And mark your calendars. June 27th and 28th, the now 600 National Series comes to town, featuring drivers from all over the nation and some of the best racing you'll see all season. Cam Raceway, where the dirt flies and legends are made.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Welch, Science Center Veronica with you on this Monday morning, the 16th day of June for 2025. Again, 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. If you'd like to join us today, make sure you call the right number. 402-834-1330. Tim just texted us back Tim just texted us back and said it's been about 10 times now that he's trying to call into the show, and he's called someone else.
This time he didn't get that poor old lady from the 984 number. But he actually long distance dialed.
Yeah, where is he? Down in Texas or someplace, did he say?
Oregon.
And
they called him back.
Yeah, what do you want? I'll just try to call into this stupid talk show here. So, yeah, make sure you call the right number. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. Leave us a message on Facebook, all these social media sites, wherever you're listening to us at. Thanks for joining us here this morning. Told you about the Royals. They lost last night or yesterday again. Kansas City losing, so they've lost 6 games in a row now, 34-38 on the season. They'll play at Texas on Tuesday. NBA, we're sitting at 2 games apiece. The Pacers will play at Oklahoma City tonight. Game 5 of the NBA Championship Series. Tip-off will be at 7:30 on ABC.
Mm-hmm. And then on the ice tonight, Florida can wrap things up. They have the 3-2 edge over the Edmonton Oilers. Game 6 is also tonight. And Game 6 tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Yep. Let's get on the right day. There we go. 7 o'clock TNT. So they'll split up the NBA and the NHL. NBA tonight with Game 5, pivotal Game 5 in OKC. God, you got to think the Thunder come out and support. And that place will just be a fortress tonight, right? I don't see Indiana.
You don't see them?
I don't see the Pacers extending this series.
Well, I told you before they all got started, I thought Oklahoma City would win in 6. So that means I would have to be on Oklahoma City for the next 2.
And I had OKC in 5, so I'm already behind the 8 ball. But
yeah, I'll hang with Oklahoma City to win tonight to go up 3-2.
Got to stand your ground, right? You got to stand behind your original prediction, and you still have the possibility of that happening. So I think we're both on the Thunder tonight. I'll be honest, I'm on Florida to wrap things up after the weekend. Getting that 3-2 edge on Edmonton. Edmonton's backs are against the wall.
And they're on home ice tonight.
Yeah.
You always want to wrap up. Yeah, tomorrow night. You always want to wrap up the Stanley Cup on home ice.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be tomorrow night for Florida. So Florida will play Edmonton tomorrow in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Series. Shane Van Gisbergen.
Who?
Shane Van Gisbergen. He won the NASCAR race yesterday on the road course in Mexico City. He's kind of like a road course expert. He came in, he's a foreigner, signed as a full-time member of NASCAR this year, but he's kind of a road race expert. In fact, he was the overwhelming choice in Las Vegas to win the race yesterday. In fact, he had the lowest odds to win a NASCAR race in the history of betting on on the NASCAR yesterday. That's how heavy of a favorite he was.
So does this point system...
That puts Shane Van Gisbergen into the championship round by winning a race. And he might win another road course. I think they've got 4 out of the next 9 races on the road course. And he's kind of the road course expert, so he might win another road course or 2 down the stretch. But as of now, with that win yesterday in Mexico City, that puts him in to the championship round, whether you like it or not.
And that is the epitome of the problem of your playoff system.
Yeah, you win one race. You win one race, and you're into the championship round. I think he was 33rd in the point standings going into the race yesterday, but he wins the race, so he is now into the championship round.
Well,
Shane Van Gisbergen.
On the other hand, tell your NASCAR drivers that don't make any right turns to start learning how to make right turns, I guess. I don't know.
On the road course.
On the road course. So Van Gisbergen is in the playoffs.
Yeah, Christopher Bell was second, Chase Elliott third, Alex Bowman fourth, Michael McDowell fifth. So that's what's going on with the racing over the weekend. And then what about the U.S. Open? Haven't talked about that. J.J. Spahn. Who? J.J. Spahn. He won the 125th U.S. Open for his first major championship. He beat Robert McIntyre by 2 strokes. Spahn was the only golfer to finish under par for the tournament at 1 under par 279. He posted a 2 over 72 on Sunday, but he went 3 under on the back 9 to claim the championship. And with that, he'll collect $4.3 million for the biggest payday of his career. So, yeah, J.J. Spahn, we talked about him. I think he got off to a hot start on Thursday.
Yep.
You and I kind of talked about him on Friday. And when I flipped the tube on over the weekend and the U.S. Open was on, I was kind of surprised to still see J.J. Spahn amongst the leaders. That was even on Saturday afternoon. J.J. Spahn amongst the leaders, and then I flipped it on when I got back from the lake yesterday, and hell, he was still there. I thought, wow, this guy's going to win the U.S. Open, and he did.
Talk about overcoming adversity in camping. I mean, it was overcoming adversity at the U.S. Open. The conditions were not ripe for low scores, right? They were not ripe for some of these big names to make a big push over the weekend. And so if you got out to a early advantage over the course of the first 2 rounds like Spahn did, he just kind of had to grind it out. And that's what he did. He grinded out himself 36 holes over the Saturday and Sunday and was able to come away with that U.S. Open championship. But again, it lacked a little bit of the grand fanfare just because of some of the big names, the heavy hitters, the ones that were firing towards the top of the lead in the Masters golf tournament that we all know and love. They weren't sticking around because they were struggling over at the course the way it was playing, and so sometimes you just got to grind out a victory, and that was I think the last 18 holes for J.J. Spahn. At that point, it's all mental, and that's the beauty of the game of golf. Is it's the one sport where the biggest opponent is the opponent that's in between your ears. And you got to play a good mental toughness game. And kudos to Spahn. He was able to do that and pick up a U.S. Open victory. But yeah, lacked a little bit of the fanfare with some of the big names and the heavy hitters way down on the leaderboard. But congratulations on a major championship.
Yeah, I was sitting with some people, and they said they turned it off because they looked at the leaderboard and didn't know anybody.
Yep.
Yeah, the guys that were used to seeing on top of the leaderboard, they were nowhere to be found on the U.S. Open top of the list. So they just said they shut it off. They thought they were looking at a minor tournament. No, this was the U.S. Open.
Right.
One of the majors. And it was
major championship.
J.J. Spahn wins the championship there, $4.3 million. He is happy there. Let's talk about Rocco's.
Sure.
I've got the standings pulled up, and this was as of yesterday at night. Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge down in Omaha. LSU, 10,864 Jell-O shots for LSU fans. And you've got to go down to, God, you got to go down to half that amount.
Yep.
Arkansas has got 4,999. So that's an ass kicking.
Oh, yeah.
LSU has doubled the Jell-O shots in the Rocco's Jell-O Shot Challenge. 10,864 to 4,999 for Arkansas. And then what do we got? You've got Coastal Carolina at 2,942. So, yeah, like you said on the top of the show, it's not even a challenge right now.
What did you say? Did you say 10,864 for LSU?
Yeah, that was last count.
Okay. I'm going to get you the latest and greatest.
All right, so they're updating as we talk here this morning.
Yep. If you follow, throw in your X or Twitter, I'll say Twitter for you, CWS Jell-O Shot Challenge. They do the updated live leaderboards. And so increase that by 3,000. 13,552 for LSU, outpacing Arkansas by nearly 8,000 Jell-O shots with 5,583. Murray State with 6,420. So Murray State actually passed Arkansas for the 2 spot, but still about 7,000 shots down.
Well, they had the day off yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So their fans were probably in Rocco's drinking Jell-O shots. So that's probably why they passed Arkansas.
But you're still doubled. You're doubled up.
This is not even a challenge. LSU fans could take the day off and they'd still have the lead.
It should be the Rocco's Jell-O Shot second place challenge at this point. LSU's in the driver's seat. They're not going anywhere. And the Tigers, oh, by the way, they've got a game today. And so they'll be out and preparing in full force. I'm going to make a wager with you. I think LSU, after today, will surpass 25,000 Jell-O shots.
Where are they at right now?
13,000.
So you're going to say they're going to drink 12,000 Jell-O shots in one day?
Yep.
Wow. At
if I know my LSU fans out there,
$5 a piece.
They'll be there bright and early, 9 a.m.
All right, yeah, that's at $5 a piece, too. I'm not going to ask you how your homework assignment has gone that I gave you on Friday.
Yeah. It's been opening weekend for them, so I'm going to give them a second to breathe.
You thought they might be just a little tad busy?
Well, they sold 13,552 Jell-O shots to just one school over the weekend, so I'm assuming that they're a little busy over there at Rocco's.
All right, so now we got some teams getting eliminated. You can cross Arizona off.
Yep.
They're probably not going to go.
In Arizona, that was gut wrenching for the Wildcats yesterday, man. I have not seen an implosion that bad in a long time. They all but had it won going into the bottom of the 8th inning. I mean, it was a 4-1 lead over Louisville, and then you hang a 7 spot in the 8th inning. Louisville flips the script, retakes the lead, and Arizona has to bow out. I mean, they were in control of that ball game. One of your picks in the College World Series, your Arizona Wildcats, first team in the Big 12.
No, my pick, that was in the Super Regional.
It was?
Yeah, to get him to the College World Series, and I didn't take him.
Okay.
I didn't take him in the College World Series. I hopped on Arkansas.
That's right.
I'm hopped on Arkansas, but they're in the elimination game today, so I could be done.
That should be a fun elimination game with Arkansas and Murray State. And I think it would be very interesting to see how the crowd responds today, because I think your neutrals from Nebraska that just go out to the College World Series, that make it a date to go out to the College World Series, are going to have a little Arkansas love, right?
Oh, yeah.
We love Dave Van Horn. We love Kojal. We love the Nebraska ties to Arkansas. But then you're going to have your fans out there that are just cheering for the underdog in Murray State. So it'll be a pretty good mix today, I think, of some baseball fan bases and some back and forth with at the Schwab. So that'll be an electric atmosphere. Game tonight. Yeah.
Well, we mentioned Arizona being ousted. How were they doing in the Jello shot contest? Pull that back up again. How is Arizona doing? They're the first team out of the College World Series. Did they perform? Did they perform in Rocco's Jello shot challenge?
No, not really. They faded. They were third worst, third bottom.
Wow.
UCLA, the people from LA can't drink, apparently. LA is not even in the thousands. They're at 929. So UCLA is the absolute dead ass last. Then you've got 1,315 from Louisville, 1,375 from Oregon State. So the fourth bottom is Arizona at 1599.
All right, so they performed about as well at the bar as they did on the field.
You see, there's a correlation.
Yes, there is. You see who's on top? You see who's on top of the Jello Shot Challenge?
Yes.
LSU. You see who's playing good baseball on the field? LSU.
When their fan bases are inebriated, they play some pretty damn good baseball.
At $5 a piece.
I love it.
At Rocco's. Anyway, I wanted to bring you up to date on that challenge because we talked so much about it on Friday. I didn't want everybody to be hanging over the weekend. I told you I'd get you an update.
Yeah.
So there again, the Jello Shot Challenge. We'll try to do that throughout the week. I gave Tyson a homework assignment on Friday to maybe try to come up with somebody to talk about the Rocco's Jello Shot contest on this show.
Got all week, baby.
Yeah, you got all week to come up with it. I didn't know. No, I didn't expect you to get that homework assignment done over the weekend.
Wasn't going to happen. It wasn't. I was busy this weekend. We had a lot of things going on.
If I gave you a deadline of like Friday, I'm sure you had been making calls Thursday night.
Yep.
To Rocco's. Hey, anybody around tomorrow morning at 7:30 that could call into a show?
They are actually. So this is a thing that happened over the weekend. I didn't even think about it, but like we were delivering beer out to one of the tap houses out in Omaha, and we were making a beer delivery. They were going to be pushing some First Street product for us, and they said, "Yeah, but you have to be here before 7 a.m. because they start to close down the streets." So it was an early wake up call for our beer delivery crew. They had to be on the road by 3 a.m.
Well, I told you that they were probably opening up down there.
Yep.
College World Series in the morning.
They open up around probably 9 or 10 o'clock. I think most of the businesses, most of the establishments down there. But it's they have to get there and start setting up early because of the closing down the streets and making everything safe and secure. So.
All right, we'll still try to get somebody from Rocco's on the show.
Yes.
Of course, by the end of the week, there's not going to be much of a challenge going on if LSU continues to blow them out of the water.
That's kind of my theory. Is I'll let a few more teams get eliminated, let them breathe. I'm in the bar industry. I'm in the service industry. I know the busy times when you're busy like getting set. Probably not going to talk to two schmucks from Central Nebraska, but I'll shoot them a message after it starts to clear out a little bit and say, hey, let's talk some Jello shots, because I just kind of want to know the story.
Yeah.
Like where in the world did Rocco's all of a sudden decide, hey, you know what we can do to be the busiest bar? I mean, their location is prime, right? Like, so they were going to be busy anyways, but who came up with the concept to sell a crap ton of Jello shots? And where do they make them? And where do they store them?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions we had on Friday that we need answers to.
So yeah, we'll get those answers. I have zero problem talking to people that own bars. Like those are fun conversations for me.
All right, 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. If you'd like to chime in this morning on our fan line, so to speak, make sure you dial the right number. 402-834-1330. I don't know what's so difficult about that. Stroman's having a hell of a time getting his fingers in the right spot.
We are in the 402 area code.
Why don't you just put us into the speed dial? Why don't Stroman just put us into the speed dial, and then when he wants to call into the show, you just hit up, huddle up. And he don't have to dial it every time because he misdials every time he tries to call in. From Texas to Oregon to California, Stroman has hit everybody.
He probably did put it in his phone. He just put it in his phone wrong a couple different times.
So
in a
that's
couple
easy.
different ways, apparently. Alex Gordon, before we get to our news break.
Yeah.
Alex Gordon going into the Hall of Fame.
The Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame.
Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame. Back when he was in the Kansas City Royals organization, and we were part of that Royals radio network crew, I had the opportunity to chat with him on like a phone conversation. Just one of the most humble guys, down-to-earth guys that you've ever met in your entire life. And, you know, it was one of those key cogs in the World Series championships for the KC Royals at that time. And I don't want to make such a bold statement, but without a team player like that in the clubhouse and in the locker room, I don't know if they have World Series championship trophies to their name. I think he was a key contributor in those runs at that time, and couldn't be happier. And not a more deserving player than Gordo to get elected into the Royals Baseball Hall of Fame. So kudos and a tip of the cap to one of the best Nebraska-born players to do it, and to go through the majors and have an outstanding career, not only statistically, but with some accolades as well. So congratulations, Gordo.
God, those were the days. Those were the days when the Royals were playing in the postseason.
But it was very similar to like the conversation that we had earlier, right? About being a mid-market team and about the call-ups. And we got the inkling prior to that very first championship season that the minor league system, the farm club, was extremely loaded. And it was just a matter of, could these guys from the farm system get elevated to the level necessary to be contributors to that ball club, and can they hold this ball club together at the trade deadline? If you can work your way through with your star players as a mid-market team and work through the trade deadline and get key pieces to add on to a team that is playing ahead of schedule. And Kansas City was. They developed ahead of schedule, and with Hosmer and Moose and Gordo, had one of the best 3-4-5s I have ever seen in a baseball offensive lineup. And remember the key factors that team had. There was speed all over the diamond. And they would bring in pinch runners at key times in those baseball games, late in the games, when you needed to grab that extra base, when you needed to put a guy in scoring position. Gerard Dyson, who couldn't hit for crap, but was the fastest guy on cleats at that time, bringing him in as a pinch runner and getting those extra bases, putting him in scoring position, battling through the American League playoffs. That was a fun baseball team that developed ahead of schedule and was ready to hoist the trophy, and Gordo was a big part of that.
All right, 7:57, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
In Grand Island, the police department have officially closed a recent fraud investigation following findings from First Interstate Bank and its ATM service provider. The investigation determined a device in question was not a skimming device in the bank's ATM, as was initially reported last Friday. First Interstate Bank was worked proactively with its clients throughout the review process to ensure all accounts remained secure, and also determined that no customer information was compromised or obtained fraudulently. The police department does, however, remind all residents to routinely monitor their bank and credit card accounts for any unauthorized activity. Road construction, this time east of Clay Center, as the Nebraska Department of Transportation set to begin a significant road improvement project on Highway 41. The project aims to enhance safety and traffic flow in the area, and motorists can expect lane reductions and possible delays. The project is expected to be completed in the fall. The new Libs splash pad is completed and open to the public. The new splash pad was originally anticipated to be ready by Memorial Day weekend, but the project saw some slight delays as the contractor had wrapped up some other scheduled projects elsewhere in the state. There was also further weather-related delays on the project. Costs associated with the new splash pad, about $260,000, all paid for from the city's Atonement of the American Rescue Plan Act funds. 7:59. Let's go over to Mike for a final check on sports.
Well, Arizona, the first team to be eliminated from the College World Series in Omaha. Wildcats lost to Louisville 8-3 in the elimination game yesterday after dropping a 4-3 decision to Coastal Carolina on Friday. In the other game yesterday, Coastal Carolina, they beat Oregon State 4-2, so Coastal Carolina now 2-0 in the tournament. In the games today, Murray State will play Arkansas in the elimination game at 1, followed by UCLA against LSU at 6. Legion Baseball, Hastings 5 Points Bank. They're now 13-4 in the season. They beat Grand Island U-Save and Seward on Saturday. Hastings will play at Kearney on Thursday. Hastings Johnson Imperial Homes went 4-0 in the Rapid City tournaments. The Braves are now 12-4. They'll play at Kearney on Thursday. We'll have both games on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame at 4:45 on Thursday afternoon. Hastings runs and went 1-3 over the weekend. The Warriors will host a doubleheader with Sutton coming up on Wednesday. Hastings Sodbusters beat Casper 7-0 last night. Hastings will play at the Oahe Zap tonight. First pitch will be at 6:05. That's a check on your sports headlines on Extreme Sports. It's 8 o'clock.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Our summer heat continues on this Monday with plenty of sunshine through the late morning afternoon and a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm during the morning hours, a high of 93. Tonight we'll have a chance for some severe thunderstorms about midnight or just after. There's a 2 out of 5 or a slight risk here in Hastings from Grand Island to North Platte up to Shattern and back to O'Neill. 3 out of 5 on the threat scale. Winds up to 70 or 75 miles per hour can be expected.
Right now, south winds at 10. It's cloudy. It's 69 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydromassage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Get ready, race fans. Cam Raceway is teaming up with Extreme Sports for an electrifying season of high-speed, dirt-slinging, adrenaline-pumping action. Every race night, we're bringing you live video coverage straight from the track, so you won't miss a single lap, pass, or photo finish. From non-wing warriors to cage karts, flat karts, and the A-class wing beasts, we've got it all. There's nothing like the roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the rush of dirt flying action right in front of you. So get to the track and experience it live. But if you can't make it, don't sweat. Extreme Sports has you covered. Buckle up because this season is going to be fast, fierce, and unforgettable. Make sure you like and follow Extreme Sports on Facebook to get all the latest updates, and we will see you at the track.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson O'Brien with you on this Monday morning. Huddle up here on Extreme Sports. Ryan Martin chiming in on our social media sites. Ryan says part of the proceeds from those Jell-O shots in Omaha go to charity.
It's food pantries. I was just reading up on that. They do Creighton and University of Nebraska, Omaha, and then all of the participating food pantries that are supported by the teams that are in the College World Series. So Shreveport, Louisiana, Murray State, Coastal Carolina, they all get to contribute to the area food pantry. So Rocco's giving back on the shot challenge. That's really cool to see. I did not know that. I thought they were just making
a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Hell of a lot of money this week.
They're giving a lot of that money back. That's really cool.
All right, so hopefully we can get somebody on the show and talk about that.
Experts
on
the Jell-O shot challenge.
All right, so that's what we wanted to clean that up before we get out of here today. I don't see anything else on the social media sites that we need to bring up before we exit this show.
No.
You got anything on your side? Nothing on your side?
I am clean on the plate. Nothing else to address.
All right, so we're going to have NBA basketball tonight. Pacers and the Thunder. 7:30 starting time, ABC. Look for Oklahoma City to win tonight.
I do, yep.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma City wins tonight. This is Game 5. They would take a 3-2 lead, and then Oklahoma City will wrap things up.
We have Vegas. Yeah, OKC heavy favorites tonight. 9.5.
Wow.
For Game 5.
Okay, so I'm all over OKC tonight.
Are you you on OKC at 9.5?
Yeah, I'll take OKC over 9.5. Blowout City tonight.
That's a sucker bet because a lot of the public was going to want to go on Indiana because of that big line. So I'm with you. I think Vegas is smart here. I think they set an intentionally high line.
Yep.
And if the smart money's on OKC tonight.
The smart money, and then you and I.
Me and you.
Yeah. God.
I'm gonna say we're the smart money tonight.
So watch tomorrow. Watch tomorrow when we talk about this on the show. It'll be Indiana.
We'll have to lead with it.
In an upset.
We'll have to lead with another apology. Tried to make you a little money over the weekend. We failed. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. Tyson and I are both on OKC over the 9.5 spread for tonight. Yep. All right. So that'll wrap things up. Anything else going on that we need to know about?
I think we're set for a fun-filled week, and
all right.
we'll see how it plays out. Weather-wise, could be a little dicey tonight, so keep an eye on the sky.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. Like midnight and beyond, like midnight to 4 a.m., we could have some severe storms roll through here.
You know when you step outside and you just kind of get that feeling? If you're like a Midwesterner, you just know it.
Yep.
And there's a little bit of humidity in the air, and you're like, ooh.
Tonight could be
conditions are pretty ripe tonight.
So
keep your eye on the sky.
All right, we'll do this again tomorrow. Again, if you'd like to listen to the show again, you can. Just go to our social media sites, download the podcast section. You can listen to the show at your convenience today. Thanks for joining us. We'll do it again tomorrow morning at 7 here on Extreme Sports.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.